market. We're going to do white bean ragu and a rabbit with port wine and wild mushroom. Basically, you can interchange rabbit and chicken recipes. Now remember, this is a farm-raised rabbit. It's not wild. Very lean protein and very sustainable. So stay tuned, and we're going to get started. All right, let's get started with our beans. We're going to start out with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil, sauteed onion, yellow pepper, we're going to give this a stir and let it get al dente. And translucent. Then we'll add our garlic and our tomatoes and our thyme. One 15-ounce can of beans, 2 cups of chicken stock, a couple tablespoons of white vinegar, white balsamic vinegar, or balsamic vinegar, and a couple tablespoons. Let this simmer for 30 to 45 minutes. Till you get to the consistency that you'd like, and then we'll be back. Apps and use them in the rabbit recipe, and I'm going to take the stems, and we talk about building levels of flavor. So what we're going to do with the stems is we're going to take them, because they're really not edible, but they do have great flavor. I'm going to add them to our beans, and then after they've simmered, I'll pull them back out. And it's just another level of flavor that we're actually building. I'm going to just rough cut these mushrooms. We have our rabbit and we're going to butcher it. Remember, this is a very sustainable protein. This is actually farm raised. It's not wild, but to do it's pretty easy. On the front section, they'll remove. There's no joints or anything in that. So they just will remove just like that. So we've got our 2 front quarters. We're going to come in here and do our back quarters. We're going to follow the seam of the rabbit. Take a cut here. Come along the side right here. And then take the rabbit and pop it just like that until you hear it removed from the bone. The joint from the bone. And the same thing on this. Start here. Run your knife along the top. Pop it until you hear it remove. Now we have the belly skin right here. This is the inner lining. Let's remove this. Set this to the side. And the same thing on this side. Let's remove that. And then if you go and you'll feel right here on the rib cage, you want to cut right above the ribs because we don't want ribs in there. Take it, pop it, and remove that. Set that to the side. And then this is the saddle part of it right here. We're going to take this right here. You can actually bend it forward and cut right there. So I'm going to split this in half and get 2 portions out of this. And then we have the front loin and the back loin. The back loin has a lot of meat and the front loin is a little bit leaner, but it really has quite a bit of meat in it. Also, remember, when we're making we're going to make our sauce with our rabbit. So all these bones, all this meat adds great flavor. So here we have front legs, back legs, saddle. Save this. We'll add this to our chicken stock for additional flavor. All right, to start the rabbit, we're going to take a little flour to season the rabbit with, a couple pinches of salt, a little pepper. Now, remember when you do rabbit, any chicken recipe that you have can be interchanged with rabbit. So this is a classic chicken recipe that I've done in the past, and I'm gonna just incorporate it to the rabbit. We're gonna start with a little olive oil. And the principles in cooking are the same as far as what we're doing. I'm going to flour the rabbit, lightly dust, and add it to the pan. So we're building our foundation of flavor right here, starting with the rabbit. So we've got our first turn on our rabbit. We'll leave it until we sear the other side, then remove it, and then add our vegetables. All right, so let's remove our rabbit from the saute pan. And see in the pan right here, this is all the love and goodness. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit more olive oil. Add our shallots. Our wild mushroom. Two to 3 cloves of garlic. So here we are. So our first level of flavor is the rabbit, and we've got all this goodness stuck on the bottom of the pan. Our second layer is the vegetables. So now we're building flavor. Our port wine. We're going to deglaze our pan
And it's going to lift all the goodness and all the beauty of the flavors that are on the bottom. It's called deglazing. So we're deglazing our pan. We're lifting up the flavors. We're building layers. So this is our third layer. Our first layer was our rabbit. Our second layer is our vegetables. Now we're into the port wine. We're going to add a little bit of beef stock. Once we let this reduce for about another minute. Add a little bit of thyme. Touch of tomato paste. Now remember, when you're cooking, as things proceed, when flavors reduce, they get bolder, they get stronger, they get more vibrant. So we're reducing the wine. It's going to be more and more bright, vibrant, flavorful. We're going to add our rabbit back into the pan. Add a little beef stock into this. And we're going to let this simmer and reduce for about 30 to 45 minutes. Alright, so we've cooked the rabbit and we've reduced our sauce. We're going to remove the rabbit from the pan and let it rest. To finish up our beans, we're going to adjust our seasoning, add a little salt, a touch of pepper, and of course, to keep my girlish figure, to add a little bit more body and complexity to our beans. We're going to add a little butter. And remember, you always want to add in your green herbs last. Incorporate a little bit of cilantro to this. We've adjusted all our flavors in our beans. It's time to plate our dish. Add the beans to the bottom. Rabbit. Take our wild oyster mushroom, and there you have it. White bean and sauteed rabbit in a wild oyster mushroom sauce. For now, I'm going to eat this and have a blessed day.